Hello, everyone. We're just getting started. We're going to let people filter in. We have more than 500 people registered for the webinar, so we're going to let people filter in for a couple of minutes and then get started. It's kind of just like a real meeting or a real class. Some people may be fashionably late. We'll give them a couple minutes grace period. All right, everybody, we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for some people to come in. I know we have more than 500 people registered, so we're going to let people filter in. We are recording this, so it will be available afterwards on our YouTube channel, which is just UGA Housing on YouTube, and on the housing website. So if you missed it, you can go see it there. Tomorrow when they make the recording available, I'll go ahead and put those in those two places. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. My name is Carrie Campbell. I am with University Housing, and with me you see Kylie Wood below there. Kylie is a rising senior, and she is also an orientation leader for this coming summer. So you may see her again if you are a feisty 15. Did I do it right? Okay. So Kylie will be answering some questions, and we also have another staff member, Heather, who will be answering questions as you ask them and as we go through the presentation as well. Again, we will be recording this, so you'll be able to access it on the Housing YouTube channel, which is just UGA Housing on YouTube, or on the Housing website at some point tomorrow when they make that recording available. All right, let's get started. We're going to have about a 20-minute presentation, 15-20 minutes. And then the rest will just be for your questions. Any questions y'all have, you can go ahead and put them in the Q&A. If you are on a desktop, you should see the Q&A in the little toolbar there. If you are on a mobile device, you may have to tap and look for the Q&A button at the top of the screen. But go ahead, that's where you're going to go ahead and put your questions that Kylie and Heather will be answering. Go ahead and do that throughout the whole presentation. We'll answer those as we get to them. I don't know if we'll get to everybody, but we'll do our best. All right. There we go. So y'all probably already know about the first year live-on requirement. This presentation is for incoming first year students for fall 2023. Because the university requires all first year students to live on campus, we know that housing is a big question on your mind. So we're going to go over kind of the process for housing, roommates, how assignments work, a little bit about living on campus, a smidge about move-in, and then we'll have time for questions about all those things and more. Never let me chat. There we go. All right, so choosing housing. At UGA, students self-select their housing based on the date that they register for housing. So registering for housing does not commit you to UGA. It is just a $35 fee. You're not committed to anything at that point. It just lets us know when we can put you in line to choose your own space. And that will happen after university's commitment deadline of May 1st. So mid-May is when people start choosing their spaces. If you haven't yet registered for housing, do it now. Anytime during the summer, somebody comes to me and says, oh, I haven't chosen my housing yet. And I ask, when did you register? If you give me a date that starts with April, I will think, okay, well, you're on the later end of what is going to be available. So do it, go ahead now, open another browser window, do that registration. It's just $35. It does not commit you to anything. It just gives you the best chance of getting the space that you want. So students have been registering for housing since November. So of course, April is going to be on the later end. So I want you to go ahead and do that as soon as you can. Again, early registration, earlier choice. We'll go over a little bit about roommates later and how that works, and how if you have a roommate who registered earlier than you, you may be have an advantage there. But first of all, go ahead and register if you haven't done that. All right, this is our process timeline that we're looking at. So we're in the March to May area right now. People who haven't registered can still do that. Be looking at what kind of spaces we offer and what you may want to have. We've got all kinds of resources for you to do that. If you have a roommate that you know you want to roommate with or room with, you can create a roommate group at this time. You can do that up until you actually log in to choose your space, and you will be choosing your exact room. So you'll say, I want to live in building 1516, and you'll go in there, you'll look for 1516, you'll choose room 335, and you can pull your roommate in at that time. I'm going to talk in a minute about roommates and how you get them, but I just want y'all to let you know where we are in the process now. And we're in the process of kind of research where you want to be and create a roommate group so that you can be roommates with a specific person if you have them ahead of time. And then again, end of May through July is going to be when people are choosing their spaces. Wants me to go. All right, roommates. So we basically say there's 3 different ways to get a roommate. The first is going to be make a friend, and that is basically random roommates. So you would have your appointment time to log in and choose your space online. You can choose whatever open spaces there are. Another person will come in behind you or either in front of you and choose the other space in that room. So that would be a random roommate. All you would know about them is that they are another first-year student and the same gender that you are in your application to UGA, because that's where we pull those designations in from. So that's the random option. The second option would be find a roommate. The way that we recommend you do this is filling out a profile on the Doghouse, which is our online portal where you register. It's match.com for roommates, is like I describe it. What time do you get up in the morning? How clean do you keep the room? Where do you like to study? Do you like it cold? Do you like it warm? Do you like to watch TV, or do you like it quiet? You're filling out all those, and then it'll return additional students who match your answer. So it'll be say, oh, Kylie, you're at 80% match with Carrie. Y'all can be roommates. We do not actually match up roommates. You're doing that yourselves based on those kind of returns that you get. So you can, as a student, can contact any of those people and say, hey, we matched in the Doghouse. Do you want to talk about being roommates? Do you want to meet and find out, or talk on the phone or whatever? And you'll actually be kind of matching yourselves up at that point. And the third way would be bring a friend. So that is if you already know someone who's going to be enrolled at UGA as a first-year student, then you can create a roommate group in our system in the Doghouse. And then either one of you can assign the other person. So that's what the roommate group does, is basically lets both roommates, you can only have one other person in your roommate group, so 2 total. It lets either of those people assign the other person to a room on campus. Kylie, do you want to talk a little bit about the roommate process and like how you got your roommates, or how other people find roommates?
Yeah. So I found my roommate through the Facebook page or Facebook group for UGA 24, because that's my class. And so we just kind of posted on the Facebook group, and then we had actually posted on some Instagram groups, and we just kind of connected through there. We were actually friends with a mutual friend, so it worked out kind of nice. We were able to meet and figure out that we did want to roommate or be roommates. Took us a while to figure that out and to actually come to terms with, oh, we actually have to live with another person. But we finally did it. We still live together today. And I'm super sad because we don't get to live with each other next year. But yeah, so that's one way. And then a lot of my friends just kind of went into it, didn't really have a roommate set up before they came to campus, and they had it random, is what people kind of call it. So they just moved in, met their roommate, and it ended up being great. And so there's kind of a lot of different options. Some people use the matching service that housing kind of offers, and met people through the Doghouse portal, or just like we're friends with them before they came to college and things like that. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So Kylie's got it right. There are a lot of ways to do it. We do have a pro tip here in housing, and that is not to roommate with your current best friend. If you want to maybe stay best friends with them, it's usually the best idea to maybe live down the hall from them or in the same building, but branch out, meet new people, make new friends. We find that there's just a lot of expectations when that happens, when you're trying to room with your current best friend from high school or whatever. Because college is not high school. It's not 13th grade. You may be a totally different person, have different expectations about what that is. So we encourage people to find a friend or make a new friend when they are living on campus. All right. So next we are going to talk about living on campus. So first we're going to talk, this is my only slide about move-in, just because I know we may have questions about it. Move-in will happen August 11th through 16th. The 16th of August is the first day of class. So we want everyone to check in by 9 a.m. on the 16th. And because, we have 9,000 people moving in, we want to limit the kind of traffic and elevator lines and check-in lines. So arrival times will be required for those first 3 days. We'll send a lot more information about arrival times in June, but just be prepared that you will be required to have an arrival time if you plan to move in on the 11th through the 13th. I'll say this about arrival times, though. It's not like you only have, the arrival times are in 15-minute intervals. You don't have 15 minutes to move in. You have as long as you want to move in. The arrival time is literally just that. Show up at your building at that time, get your key, make sure your ID works, start moving in. So we will send out information in late June about arrival times, and those are based on buildings. So, bigger buildings will have maybe 20 people an hour moving in, where smaller buildings will have maybe 5-10 people moving in an hour, just to try to really keep the lines down and make it a much more pleasant experience for everyone. And one question we get a lot is, what do people do if they move in on the 11th and classes don't start till the 16th? Great question. Some students get in a lot of trouble. We advise you not to do that. The university is really great, though, about offering all kinds of events and shows and festivals and everything, even beginning on the 11th. So there will be plenty to do and plenty to keep you entertained. Great time to meet people, hang out, find your favorite dining hall, find a group of friends, make a Target run with your friends. That's a great time to do all of those things. And the last thing I'll say about move-in is, within 48 hours of checking into your room, we would like you to let us know if we did a good job. Like, did Is there something broken or missing in your room? Let us know within those first 48 hours to make sure that you're not held responsible for that when you do check out of the room. All right, that's all I'm gonna tell you about move-in for now. Until orientation, you won't hear any more from me about move-in. All right, so this is for the parents and supporters about security in our buildings. So access to our buildings is with a UGA ID card, which you will get at orientation, and a PIN number that you choose. So it only works on your building. You'll wave that ID card, enter your PIN number and a pound or a hashtag if you guys are Gen Z, and you'll get access to your building. Every community is also going to have a desk staffed 24/7 by our student and professional staff members. So you always have an actual person to go to if you lost your ID or your key or have an issue with your room. We have on-call professionals all the time. We also have our own uniformed security staff that work really closely with the UGA police department, and then a 24-hour maintenance response. So if it's August and it's 10 a.m. on a Sunday, then your air conditioner isn't working, that's an emergency because it's Georgia and it's probably already 90 degrees. So we will have emergency response for those type of things. And then, of course, if you've got a light bulb out or a leaky sink or whatever, our staff usually respond within a day to those types of things. All right. So when you're trying to figure out what it's like to live on campus or where you may want to live, I'm going to give you some resources for that. So the first is going to be our YouTube channel. We have more than 100 videos on our YouTube channel that are specifically just to let y'all know what it's like to live on campus, what those buildings look like and everything. A lot of these videos are made by our student staff members who live on campus. So you may recognize Kylie in a couple of those. So that's a great place to start. We also have a new series this spring called First Year, First Look, where Macy, one of our students, is going through kind of the common questions and topics that people want to know about for living on campus for their first year. So go ahead and look for that. And then because we will have only limited tours during the summer, we only have 2 buildings on tour during the summer, and that is Lactiella Miller and Russell Hall. The rest are either getting renovated or, maintenance is ongoing. It's the only time we actually have time to do some really big maintenance, or there are camps and conferences in those buildings. We have 360-degree tours. So if you go to YouTube, you can see those videos for each of our buildings, and you can actually click and drag and look all around, up, down, side to side, and see what those buildings look like, including a student room. All right. Another big part of living on campus is going to be getting involved. I'm sure y'all will hear a lot about getting involved at UGA. Once you're at orientation, we have 800 or so student organizations. Residence Hall Association is one of those. They put on events like Dog Fest, which is usually the first weekend after move-in, so between move-in and classes, which is a great opportunity to get to know people. It's like a huge party on Myers Quad where there's shaved ice. These people in the picture are stuffing their own bulldogs like they're Build-A-Bear, except it's Build-A-Bulldog. There's popcorn, there's games, there's prizes. It's super fun. And then NRHH is National Residence Hall Honorary, and that is for the top 10% academically of students who live on campus. And they do a lot of service projects. So here they're doing Campus Kitchen, which is an on-campus kitchen where they assemble meals for people in the community who are food insecure. And then community council is kind of the final way that you can get involved. So every building, give or take, has its own community council that is basically like SGA for the building. They have a budget to do programs, they do events, they have a say in what fees are for housing, and they all have kind of, is like I said, SGA, but for each individual hall. So if you're looking for some leadership skills, that's a great way to go ahead and get involved right where you live. All right, that's all I have. I know there's a lot of questions in the chat that Kylie and Heather are going to continue to answer. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer some of the ones that I see. First, I've got Anonymous. Anonymous comes to all of my webinars. They're like a super fan. Thank you, Anonymous. If you're a first year, are you required to live in first year only housing, or is it optional to be with other first years? That's a good question. So we do have a lot of buildings that are first year students only, because the majority of our students that live on campus are first year students. But we also have buildings that are a mix of first year students and upperclassmen, and it's your choice. A lot of people want to be with other first year students just because you're all going through the same thing at the same time. But there is an option if you would like to pick a hall that's mixed. You can pick those buildings as well. And if you just go to the housing website and go to explore options, you can see, you can actually sort by which are first year only and which are not. Your roommate will be another first year student, but you may have other students in your hall. All right. Okay, I don't know how to dismiss. All right. The second question I have is from Claire. Hi, my son found a roommate whose roommate is ahead of my son in line when paying his deposit. Will his choice determine where we live? So great question. If your students are in a roommate group, either one can assign the other. So generally what happens is the person with the earliest appointment time is the one picking for both students. There's a lot of pressure, but it generally works out well. If you have a later appointment time and your roommate has a much earlier one, then they can pull you into that room with them. All right. Are there any that are all male housing, or are they all co-ed? Currently, we do not have any male only buildings. We only have one female only building, and that is Sewell Hall. We do not have any male only buildings for that. It has not been in demand. And also we have, I think it's about a 60-40 ratio of women to men. So we just have a lot more women as well. All right, we're looking for more live answers. Y'all are so busy. Okay, I'm gonna start down here. All right, let's see. We have some questions about Myers Hall and honors students. Myers is the honors magnet building, which means that students in the honors program will have first priority to live in Myers Hall. That means that there'll be a day before everyone starts choosing their housing when everyone in the honors program can go and choose, and the only thing they will see is Myers Hall. We have room for about 250 honors students in Myers Hall, so it's not all of them. And it's not a requirement that you live in Myers Hall. But look in your UGA email for information about that, because you will get to choose before anyone else, and you'll just be able to log in. You'll see everything available in Myers, and you can choose at that point if you're an honors student. I've got a question about what are the newer and renovated buildings on campus? So all buildings have been renovated at some point. We have one building that's 103 years old, so we definitely have renovated since then. The newest building is Black Dialer Miller Hall. It opened last fall. Before that was Rutherford Hall in 2013, and then we have several that were opened in the early 2000s. Russell and Brumby Hall were recently renovated in 2019 and 2020, and then Mell and Lipscomb are being renovated this summer. So those are some to look for if you are looking for a newer building. Then I have a question about how are the genders sorted in the hall? So it depends on the building. If there's a community bathroom, those genders may be sorted by wing or by floor. If there's only one bathroom on the floor, then it's only going to be one gender on the floor. If there are 3 or 4 wings on a floor and each has its own bathroom, there may be a wing of women, a wing of men, and another wing of women. Generally is what happens. In the buildings where there are not community bathrooms, it's just room by room. So it's just, they're all mixed in there, but each individual room is going to be single gender. All right. Can Can first years have cars on campus? We get that a lot. Yes, you can. And you are guaranteed a spot on campus if you live on campus. But I will say parking is tight. You will not be driving to classes. You do not need a car because, well, one, you won't be able to drive to class, and both the Athens buses and the UGA buses are free to use. Plus, you're going to make lots of new friends, right? So if you don't want the hassle, then don't worry about it. And as soon as you know where you're living, go ahead and contact parking services and request a lot. All right. Is there a new high-rise building for freshmen? Where is it? So for freshmen, we have 3 high-rise buildings that are 9 or 10 stories, and those are Brumby, Russell, and Creswell. Brumby and Russell were recently renovated. The newest building, Blackdale and Miller, is not a high-rise. It's 6 stories, so I guess 8 is maybe the technical high-rise limit or threshold. And it is all freshmen as well. So those are all very close to each other and all very popular, and will be some of the first to go when people start choosing their spaces. I got a question about appointment times for choosing your space. Like I said, those will go out in mid-May. Even we don't have a date for that yet because we don't know how many people we have and that we're working with. So once that commitment deadline hits and of May 1st, and we have a number that we're working with, then we'll know how many appointment times we need to make and how far out those need to go so that everyone can choose. All right. When is payment for housing due? That's a great question. So your registration for housing is just $35. The fee for living on campus, so the fee per semester, is going to be due with your tuition and as well as with your meal plan. So that's usually the first day of class. The bursar's office is going to have those dates, but it has been the first day of class without fail for a long time. All right. Let's see. Just to confirm, if a freshman chooses a mixed year dorm, her roommate will be a freshman. That is generally the case. We have to actually do extra work to make those mixed roommates happen because our upper class students have already chosen their spaces for the fall. All right, how does a person pull in their roommate when picking rooms? We have a video about this on our YouTube channel, so you can actually see like screenshots of how this works. But as long as you are in a roommate group with each other, then one of you will be able to see that person in there. You'll pick a space. You'll say, I want Hill Hall 401A. And then you can say, I want my roommate, Mark, to go into Hill Hall 401B, and you'll actually just put them in that space. You can actually put your roommate in any space on campus. It doesn't have to be one with you. So that's a pro tip as well. But generally people want to be in with their roommates. Let's see. Someone's asking, how do you find a map that shows the name of dorm buildings and how close they are to class-based buildings? So as a first-year student, your classes are going to be in the kind of general classroom areas. So all of them are on campus, but all of them are central to campus, or a 10-minute walk. So there is a map, there is a campus map on the UGA website. If you just search campus map, that's a great place to start. I've got how often do community bathrooms get cleaned? Community bathrooms are cleaned once or twice a day, usually on Mondays and Fridays. They're definitely twice a day. Sometimes in the boys' rooms, they're twice a day. Suite style bathrooms are cleaned every other week by our staff as well. And if you have an apartment, we do not clean those bathrooms. All right, we've got like 99 plus questions, so I'm going as fast as I can. Let's see. How do you know where you are in line to register for housing? So right now you won't know that. We don't even know that because not everyone has finished register for housing, and we don't know what the final number is. But do keep in mind that people have been registering since November. So there are people that registered November 20, whatever it was, when early action started, through June, people are registering. So just like the date is actually marked by the date and the exact time that you registered. And when we send out appointment times, if you're not in the first round, then we will tell you at what date we stopped. So let's say I registered on March 20th, and then I'm not in the first round, I'll get an email and it'll say, okay, Carrie, we offered appointment times. We're not offering you appointment time to choose yet, but we have offered times to people who registered through December 5th. And then you'll know kind of where you are. All right, I got some questions about Greek recruitment and the move-in day for Greek recruitment. The move-in day for Greek recruitment is still August 11th. We will just offer those students the earliest times on the 11th to make sure that you can make your meetings as well. All right, when will time slots for registration be given out? Again, not until the middle of May, or well, that's time slots for assignments actually. Registration is when you just say, yes, I'm coming to housing and pay the $35 fee. All right. Will you have in-person orientation before you get your housing appointment? Some people will, some people will not. A lot of people will choose in the last 2 weeks of May, and that's before orientation starts. But some people will not have orientation until after they've chosen their housing. All right. Is there an option to move in prior to August 11th? So I will offer you a little bit of a pro tip here. Yes, there is. If you volunteer for Hunker Down with Housing, which is our move-in program, we have about 250 volunteers. You have to be a student. You can volunteer to work in parking lots and work in check-in and check out carts and do all that kind of stuff on August 11th, 12th, and 13th. You do get to move in on August 10th if you volunteer for Hunker Down with Housing. I'm not sure if the volunteer, I don't think the application is open yet, but just keep an eye out for that. All right. So questions about roommates. So yes, if your student knows who they want to have a roommate, they can create the roommate group in the Doghouse now. They'll both confirm it. It'll say student A is asking you to be in a roommate group. Student B, is that okay with you? And student B says, yep. And then you're in a roommate group. Then whenever both of y'all get your appointments, the person with the earlier appointment can go ahead and put both those people in a space. All right. Again, assignments will not happen until the middle of May. Students need to check their UGA email through the first couple weeks of May. That's when we'll send those out. I'm not hiding the date from you. We don't know what the date is until we know how many people we have to assign. All right. What are the most social halls for freshmen? The most social halls are probably going to be the all first year high rises. So that would be Brumby, Russell, Creswell, just because there's, almost 1,000 people in each one of those buildings and they're all freshmen. They tend to be really social. There's always somebody to do something with. There's always something happening. If you want something that's more of a chill, quieter vibe, then I would look at one of the smaller buildings that have only 150, 200 people in them. Those are great options. It's really just kind of figure out what you want and what you're looking for. And we've got that because we have 23 different buildings. All right. If you're in a roommate group and one's in the honors program and one is not in the honors program, can you both live in Myers Hall? The honors program tells us no for that. If you're in the honors program on that honors day, you have to pick another honors roommate. Now, if not all the honor students choose all the spaces that they have available to them in Myers, and there are leftover spaces when it comes to appointment times, then you would be able to pull in a non-honors roommate. All right, how do you become an RA? So great question. Our RAs are all upper class students. So they've lived on campus for at least a year. They've shown some kind of initiative in taking on leadership roles, either joining a community council or RHA, or being a leader in another student organization. It is a pretty competitive, process, because those students get free housing and a meal plan as well. And we have about 200 RAs. And of course, some of them return and some of them don't. So I would say if you're looking to do that, go ahead and take on some leadership roles and get involved in your community council, and that will show that you have taken that initiative. What does disability priority housing look like? So if you need any kind of accommodation for housing, it could be you have a service animal or physical disability or anything. I'm not going to list disabilities. Then you would register with a disability resource center, and they will work with you and tell us what you need. And we will give you a choice between all the spaces that fit that, description. So register with the Disability Resource Center. Go ahead and do that. They want you to do that by May 1st. So go ahead and do that. All right. When will Mel and Lips going to be renovated? This summer. You get new bathrooms, you get a new kitchen, you get a new lobby. The student rooms will not be any different. They got new flooring and furniture last year. Do all buildings have central AC? They do. When I was there, Myers Hall did not have AC, and I don't know. Like, that was not that long. I'm not that old, y'all. But now they definitely have AC. Every building has its own in-room temperature control at this point. So there's not like a building-wide AC anymore. It's all controlled in each individual room. All right. I've got a lot of questions about location. I would just say, like, check a map, check the bus routes to see what may fit your needs the most. Questions about parking. As soon as you know where you're going to live, go ahead and register for parking. And you do that with parking services, and you'll be able to put down which lots are your priorities and kind of rank them in priority. Let's see. What dorms have bathrooms inside the rooms? So if you don't want a community bathroom, then you'll be looking at building 1516, Rutherford, Oglethorpe House. Let's see what else. Myers has some, Reed has some, Payne has some, even Mary Linden has some. So those are the ones you're going to be looking at. Where Rutherford and building 1516 and O House are probably the biggest buildings that have suite style bathrooms. All right. Some more questions about Rush. If your student is participating in sorority recruitment, they will still be checking in on the 11th. They will just be shown early appointments on the 11th so that they can make sure that they're moved in by the time they have a meeting that afternoon. Do all dorms allow you to reconfigure the furniture in each room? No. So the only building where you can't reconfigure anything is going to be Creswell. There's really not any options on how to move anything there. But the others, definitely you can move at least the beds, if not all the furniture. Are there items not allowed in dorm rooms? Yeah, great question. So space heaters will be a great example. Another example we see a lot of people bringing is essential oil diffusers. Don't bring those. They basically just become mold diffusers and affect not only your room, but your neighbor's rooms as well. So no essential oil diffusers, no air fryers. If you look at the community guide, which is available online on our housing website, you can just search community guide. You can see a specific list of things that you can and cannot bring. We also have a great what to bring list on our new student hub. So if you go to housing.uga.edu, you'll see right there on the front, it'll say new student hub. It has like just a ton of information, including a what to bring list. This person says, if you register for housing in March, do you have a chance of getting Brumby or Russell or one of their other high rises? I say yes. I see you always have a chance of getting what you want. We make probably 1,000 room changes over the summer. So as soon as you have a housing contract, you can submit a room change request, whether it's to be with a specific person or to move to a specific building. So a lot of the fluctuation happens over the summer. There's always a chance to get exactly what you want. Just go ahead and you have to have a room. So you have to have a contract for a room before you submit a room change request, but there's definitely a chance for that. Let's see. Should I wait to apply for parking when you get your housing? I would go ahead and wait so that you know, because you don't want to end up parking at Myers Hall, which when you live in building 1516, that's a 20-minute walk. Don't do that. All right. How fast do the freshman only dorms fill up? So the most popular buildings are going to be Brumby, Russell, Creswell, Blackdale, or Miller. After that, it's probably Rutherford or any of the apartment buildings. I would say they fill up within the first couple rounds of appointments, but then again, like I said, there's always people fluctuating. So people are moving in and out. People submit room changes because they want to be with someone else, or they get a room change and get to go where they want to go. So there's always a chance to get what you want, but those are the first to go. And then I have a question similar to that, like, can you change your room if you don't like it? Yeah, you can. So as soon as you have a housing contract, you can request a room change for any reason whatsoever. And we get to those in the order in which that request was made as spaces become available. And that kind of rolls over into the fall as well. So we'll still be offering room changes after you've moved in. You can tell us, like, just stop, we're not interested anymore, that's fine. But if you decide, a week after moving in that you want a room change, you can submit it then as well. All right. How does housing work for the Summer Thrive program? So Thrive is a summer program that we have in Rutherford Hall, and it'll work just like regular housing works. The assignments process works in that you will have a date to go in there and choose your space in Rutherford Hall, and you'll only see Rutherford Hall at that time, and you will move in there for Thrive, which is usually the first week of July, and you'll just kind of stay there. Everybody else is panicking, moving in August, and you are like, I already moved in. You just stay where you are. You already did it. All right, let's see. Do I know right away if I get the dorm that I want? You do, because you're choosing it. So the whole process is student driven. You're picking your exact room, not only your exact room, your exact space in that room. So when you log in and it's your time to choose, you'll say, oh, I see Boggs Hall. I'm going to pick room 213, and either there's somebody already in it, or you can bring your roommate in it, or you can just choose for yourself and wait for someone to fill the other spot. So you are actually choosing the exact spot. All right. How do we get a single room? Great question. I always get that question. So the single rooms exist. They are in there in the pile with all the other rooms. So if you find one, you can snag it. If not, you can put in a room change request and request it. Most of our single rooms are going to be in building 1516 and Payne Hall, but there are some in other random buildings as well. I have a question about the fee. The fees per semester vary by building, and they are loosely based on the bathroom privacy that you have in that building. So you can look on the housing website. There's actually, if you just search rates, you can see all the rates. or you can look for individual buildings on there. So they are different. So, apartment is going to be more than a double with a community bathroom down the hall. All right. Let's see. Do transfer students count as first-year students and have to live on campus? They do not. So if you're a transfer student and you've already been to college, you do not count as a first-year student, and you do not have to live on campus. Again, appointment times will not go out until the middle of May. Keep checking that UGA email. All right. Can we register for a semester? It has to be the whole year from the beginning. So when you register or when you choose your space and you sign your contract, that's for the whole year. But you will pay a semester at a time. So your contract will be for the whole year, but you'll just pay one semester at a time when your tuition is due. And like I said, those rates are on the housing website. The rates that are currently there are this past year's rates, or the year that we're wrapping up. The Board of Regents has not yet approved the rates for 2023-24, but they will not be more than 3% more than they are already listed. All right. Can you move into Rutherford Hall if you're not admitted to the FRC, which is the Franklin Residential College Program? Yes, you can. So they have a little more than half of the rooms in that building, but there are definitely rooms available in that building if you're not in the FRC. Can you find other honors roommates in the Doghouse? Yes, you can. So you would just put that in your profile or type it in there, and other people can find you that way. All right. If you see a potential roommate in the Doghouse, does that mean they're still looking for a roommate? In other words, if they confirm a roommate in the Doghouse, will they no longer be searchable? No, I think they still will be searchable because that profile lives in there kind of forever. But you may message them and they may say, oh, I've already found a roommate, or they can mark themselves as having a roommate already. But they don't automatically get marked, if that makes sense. I talked a little about roommate matching program in the Doghouse. That's how you would do that. Let's see. What halls are for second and third years? I'm not going to list them out, but if you sort on our housing website, if you just go to the housing.ug.edu and then go to explore options, you can search by undergraduate. Those are going to be where our returning students live. Returning student housing opens up in December of this year. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty in demand. I've got questions about refrigerators and microwaves. All of those restrictions are listed in the community guide. We do rent micro chills, which is like a microwave fridge combination, which is a great option if you know you want a mini fridge, because they will drop it off in your room before you move in, and they will take it away after you move out, and you don't have to do anything else. And you know that it fits within the policies. If it breaks, they will come fix it or replace it. So you do need to know where you're going to live kind of before you order that. But we'll definitely send out more information about micro chills, because we do offer that rental program through a partner. Let's see, if students are unhappy with their room assignment, what's the process for changing it? So like I said, during the summer, we have a lot of room changes going on, like hundreds and hundreds. That's what our staff do all summer. You simply sign your contract. So you got to have a space to change your space. And then you can put yourself on the wait list for 3 other spaces. And that can be 3 other buildings that you're interested in. It can be 3 types of spaces. If you have like a person that you know wants to room with you, you guys can just swap. If like, let's say Kylie and I live on one side of the hall and Heather and her roommate live on the other side of the hall, and we decide we want to just trade roommates, that's super easy. We can do that, no problem. So really it's a question of where do you want to go, how many people you're trying to move, and how in demand is that space that you're going to. Again, it's all student driven, so I can't really give you any like, you have an 80% chance of being able to move type of data on that, because it's student driven. but we do try to get everybody moved and happy over the summer. And if not, then you can still, again, do that once you move. Lots of questions about what kind of electrical appliances are allowed in the dorms. Again, check the community guide that is listed on the housing website. It actually gives a list that you can see. I will say, don't bring like an Alexa or a Google Home. Those will not work in the buildings that we have. It's just an unsecure device to have with that many people around. And I can also just imagine somebody saying, Alexa, play Taylor Swift. And then like 3 Alexas down the hall, everybody starts playing Taylor Swift. I wouldn't have a problem with that, but just don't bring Alexa. Let's see. Do dorms have sinks in the rooms? Great question. Some do. Boggs, Church Hill, Mel, Lipscomb, Morris, Rutherford, Building 1516, Oglethorpe House. Those all have sinks in the room, as well as Reed mostly and Sewell. So if that's something that you're looking for, you've got a lot of options for that. I personally lived in Church Hall and loved it for that reason, just because I didn't have to go down the hall and brush my teeth. Do all halls have kitchens? They do. So if you're not in an apartment with its own kitchen, then you have at least a community kitchen, depending on how many students are in that building, and maybe one community kitchen. If it's a bigger building, there may be one on every floor, or what we call a warming kitchen on every floor, and then one giant kitchen. So it's just, everybody has some kind of option for like a stove and an oven in a community type of room. It says, can you bring mini fridges, or do you have to rent the micro trail? You can bring a mini fridge, just make it sure that it complies with the guides in the community guide. Can you bring an electric kettle? Yes, you can do that. A good rule of thumb for about electronics and what you can bring and what you can't bring is if it has an exposed heating element. And I'm thinking like a toaster or a hot plate or something like that. That would be a no, generally. Again, the list is in the community guide. But if it doesn't, like it's a sealed unit coffee maker or a sealed unit popcorn maker or crock pot, those are all fine. Do we know the dates for orientation yet? I know the dates for orientation. You should get some information if you haven't already about that. So keep an eye on that email and you'll be able to choose your orientation. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll on down. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong with Taylor Swift. I freaking love Taylor Swift. I would love it if all 3 of those Alexas started playing Taylor Swift. Don't at me. All right. Can both roommates have fridges and microwaves? Yes, you can have as many fridges and microwaves if you like. How much does a micro chill cost? I don't remember. It is per semester. If you go to the housing website in the new student hub, though, you can click on it and you'll be able to see that right then. I don't remember what it was. I apologize. Are there pots and pans in the community kitchens? Yeah, no, I almost said yes. There are not. You need to bring your own pots and pans. That is a great question. And clean up after yourself as well. Our staff will clean those spaces daily, but clean up after you cook. Let's see. Do most people get matched for roommates in the Doghouse or on social media? How many go with their random roommate? I would say probably 40% of people have a random roommate. It's a pretty good number. And like I said, most of the issues we have are with roommates who did know each other, but that may just be a matter of numbers. But I would say at least 40% of people have a random roommate, or like they didn't talk to they didn't know that roommate before they chose their spaces, but they did talk to each other. You do have a chance in July. We'll say, hey, here's your roommate. If you didn't know this, you can go talk to them. How does Suitemates work? Do you search for them as well? Generally, no. So you can only have one other person in your roommate group with you, and that's because most of our spaces only house 2 people. So if you have Suitemates, You can try to get with another roommate group and work that out, or you can do that through a room change request. But you will not be able to pull in your specific suite mates. That makes sense. Are living learning communities assigned to specific halls? Yes, though it is possible to be in a living learning community and not be in a specific building. Our language communities in French and Spanish are in Mary Linden. Thrive is, of course, in Russell. Franklin Residential College is in Rutherford. The Russian language community is in Rutherford. And then the entrepreneurship living learning community is in Creswell. Let's see. Can students sleep over at other people's rooms? You can. There are guest policies, and there's a limit to how many nights per semester people can have guests. They are supposed to have a bed as well, and they do require the permission of the roommate as well. If you're looking for an apartment with a kitchen, would you look in the undergraduate section then? Great question. So we have some apartments that are, I would look there. I would look in undergraduate. We do have some apartments that are just for first year students in our UV East community. But we also have apartments that are for upper class and first year students. So you can look either one, but I would just click the undergraduate tab. Let's see, can we share the presentation? Yes, we will be putting the whole thing on the housing website. Everything in the presentation is answered in the new student hub generally. So that's a great place to start if you have another question. So again, housing.uga.edu. Let me see if it'll let me, I don't think it'll let me navigate to it. I'm gonna stop sharing. Y'all are probably tired of staring at that anyways. Let's see, that's YouTube. I don't know. Hello, Chrome. Hold on. Let me find my correct tab. University Housing. Okay. Let me see if I can share again. Resume share. No, I didn't do it. That's such a disappointment. New share. There we go. Okay, I think y'all can see now. Okay, so if we're on housing.uga.edu, I'm gonna go to incoming students because that's what y'all are. Explore options. You can sort by any of these up at the top. So I'll just click first year only, and it will, oh, stop. There we go. And it will just show only the buildings that only have first year students. Again, if you click on one of these, like y'all could probably figure this out. Then you'll have more details about those buildings, like what size the mattress is, how many people live there, how many floors it is, the learning communities, the rates, again, not available for next year, but they are definitely there for this year and won't be more than 3% more. You've also got pictures, 360 videos. See, I can drag and look around. Here's some common areas, and then there's our 360 video tour. So that's exists for all the buildings. I'm going to go back so you can see our new student hub, because again, I know we're not going to get to everybody's question in the next couple minutes. So if you go to our new student hub, you can see right here where Harry Dog is. It's got all kinds of stuff in there, stuff about move-in, well-being, which is like how we clean things, as well as how we make sure students are supported, feeling like they belong. We've got another webinar tomorrow. We've got the link to the microchills. We also have a lot of resources like a roommate success plan, which is something the RAs will give each student when they move in, to make sure that roommates are on the same page. So that's a great place to start, is that roommate success plan and that new student hub. All right. Did I get tickets to the Eras tour? You guys are cracking me up. Of course I did. I'm going on Friday, April 28th. I will see you there. Let's see. Emotional support animals. Yes, we do allow emotional support animals. You need to register with the DRC. And then we will find you a space that fits that need. Let's see, which apartments are available for the school year versus year round? That's a great question. We do have, and I'll do one more question after this, and it's 8, and I'll let y'all go. We do have 3 buildings that will be what we call year-round contracts. So that means when you sign your contract this summer, it'll be for fall, spring, and summer of next year. And those are only in these 3 apartment buildings. And I believe it's going to be Rooker, McWhorter, and Vandiver that have the year-round contracts next year. It will say on the rates, and we'll also give you a heads up. If you go to sign a contract, it'll just say, FYI, when you sign this contract, you're going to be signing it for those 3 semesters, not just fall and spring. So keep an eye on that. All right, I'm going to pick one more random person. Whew. Let's see. Let's see. Does Brandon Oaks have a playground? It does have a playground. When are housing payments due? They are due. So fall will be due the first day of fall classes. Spring is usually due the first day of spring classes. The bursar has those dates. So just keep that in mind. Is there a place on campus to borrow cleaning appliances like vacuums and stuff? There's not a place on campus to do that. Some buildings have those. If it's a bigger building, some do not. I know some people also hire cleaning services to clean. I would like you to come clean my house too. That would be helpful if you can send them over here. Okay, it's 8:01. I know we didn't get to everybody's question, but again, we are recording this. I will put it on the housing website tomorrow as soon as Zoom makes it available to me. And I will also put it on YouTube so that you can see it there. If you have more questions and you want to register for tomorrow's webinar, go ahead and do that, or tell a friend. Again, if you have any questions, you can call the Housing Assignments Office. You can email housing@uga.edu. You can chat with us from the chat feature during office hours from our website. And, those are great options. We have people just, one person in our office whose whole job is to answer phones, and another person whose whole job is to check email. So we're really there to help you, and we really want you to get your questions answered. And again, I'll be sharing this. If I can get the email registration list, then I will go ahead and email it to everyone as well. I want to thank Kylie and Heather for helping in the background. We had, more than almost 400 people at one point, so it was great to see everyone here. And I want to say, everybody have a good night, and go Dogs.